Yo, good people. What's going on, you guys? It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right, so we're coming live from South Africa, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. You guys go find you somewhere to sit down and listen to how to heal thyself. All right, so that's what we do here. We teach people how to heal themselves, and you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you guys about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. Look, the future of medicine is no medicine at all. You guys must pay attention to this. The future of medicine is no medicine at all. I don't know what y'all been thinking, but that's what you're going, because you are starting to realize that you don't want to have technology in your bloodstream. And so what's happening is there's a movement and a shift, but there must be a system of being able to assess the human condition. And so the traditional medicine and all the stuff that we've been teaching you guys is this alternative system that's going to be able to help you in your time of need if you're dealing with chronic and acute situations. All right, so with that being said, this is a free information station. You guys don't have to pay for anything that you hear here today. All you simply got to do to pay attention is to pay attention, and how you do that is double tapping that screen. Once we get to 100,000 likes, we'll start bringing people onto the live, and therefore you guys can get your queries heard. All right, but once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject matter at hand. Now, disease. Okay, since we're already there, that means that y'all already ready. So disease. Okay, disease has to be understood in a lot of different ways. Okay, so when you understand disease, then you can start to put together things that can start to help you. But everybody's disease doesn't start at the same place or the same time, and don't have the same remedies toward them, because you always got to take into constitution and the condition of the body. You can't give a baby the same amount of something that you can give an adolescent. You can't give an adolescent the same amount of something that you may be able to give an adult. And you can't put an elderly that's feeble through detoxification process if they're not able to withstand, right? So everybody's condition, everybody's constitutions are always going to be allocated to what you can do, all right, in order to be able to help us get rid of the situation that you got going on in your life. Now, this means financially, this means socially, as well as physically. Okay, so now we got to look at what are the parameters of disease. Somebody say disease in the chat. Just put it in the chat. That don't mean you got it, but just put it out there, right? Because we want to let disease know that we're not scared. But we don't chase disease. We're chasing the death conscious. And what's happening is there's a lot of death conscious that attached to some of these things. Now, one of the biggest things, now it's about 5 to 7. All right, so this is going to be on YouTube as well. You guys, if you miss anything, please go to YouTube and subscribe, and make sure that you're following and watching all this information. I do it live, V103, baby, live 03. All right, so now one of the reasons why is toxins. Okay, toxicity is a very big reason why we can't catch a disease. If you get in toxins, what I like to use is a word called bioaccumulation, right? Bioaccumulation happens when your body has gotten enough of the heavy metals. It's gotten enough of the pesticides, the herbicides, the insecticides. It's had enough of the cosmetic things that are in there. And so you get to a tipping point where that's called bioaccumulation, accumulation of toxins within the body. Okay, and so that is going to be the reason why you can catch a disease. All right. Now, so we'll call this number one. All right. Number two, anybody know what's the second reason we can get a disease? Anybody? All right, anybody? I'm gonna interact with y'all today. Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Let's get us up to 100,000 likes doing the broadcast. Okay, doing this live broadcast. You do your job, I'll do mine. All right. Anybody got another clue of what can cause a disease? All right. If you don't know, then let me go ahead and tell you that one of them is going to be immune deficiency. Okay, if you have an immune deficiency, if your immune system has been suppressed in any kind of way, that's going to cause a disease. Okay, who else said something right there? Somebody got number three. Alejandro been watching me too long, so he already know. Alejandro already know. All right, so number three. All right, number three. Y'all see what Alejandro said right there? Y'all go follow Alejandro. Okay, y'all go follow Alejandro. So number three, we're going to call stress imbalance. Okay, stress imbalance, but really this is hormonal imbalance. Okay, we're gonna call it stress imbalance because stress is a little bit more of a bigger word that I like to use today rather than just your hormonal system. Okay, but this is allocated to your hormonal system. So being having hormonal imbalances can cause disease. Having stress imbalances can cause disease. We're talking about the same thing right there, right? Okay, so that's your top three right there. Okay, let me erase this and we're gonna keep on going. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. The point of the matter, what I'm trying to stress to y'all today is when you know what causes disease, you'll know how to put together something that'll help somebody. Okay, when you know this, then you'll know how to put together your stuff. Okay, so now you got toxins, you got immune deficiency, and you got stress imbalance. Okay, number four, we're going to say nutrient deficiency. Okay, you can get a disease off of nutrient deficiencies. Okay, and a lot of us are coming into the paradigm, meaning from birth you already have some nutrition deficiencies based on the parent's diet during gestation period. So if you're not getting a certain amount of minerals, that's why you go to the doctor. They keep giving you this, or they'll give you that, or they'll give you this, because they're trying to compensate for what they see that's missing. So having a well-rounded diet during your pregnancy is going to bode well. But for most of us, because we crave and because we're programmed to like certain things, then you're only getting limited of certain minerals and nutrients. And so you'll see that a lot of us can come into the paradigm already nutrient deficient. Okay, already nutrient deficient, which means that we're already primed for disease later down that road. All right, so nutrient deficiency can cause disease. Anybody else? Okay, anybody else know anything else that can cause disease? You keep shooting them out there, and we'll go with it. Okay, anybody else know anything else that can cause disease? All right, inflammation. All right, number 5 is inflammation. Inflammation, right? Especially when it's chronic. When you have chronic inflammation, then you can start to fester a disease in your body. When you have chronic inflammation, that means that when you got pain everywhere, here and there, you always got a headache, I always got a back pain, I always got a knee pain, I always got a shoulder pain. When you're always carrying on with inflammation down the line, if you continue to allow this to be chronic, then this can cause a disease. All right, so nutrient deficiency, inflammation. What else do we know? What else do we know that can cause disease? Somebody said white sugar. Now, nothing on the nothing like that, right? It's not what you even the Bible tells you it's not what goes into a man that defiles them, but it's what comes out of a man, right? So what we're looking at is how you are responding to environmental stimuli, not what you're putting into your body. But again, if you do have a poor diet that's not nutrient supplemental wise, then yes, that can start to deal with you. So white sugar and all this stuff we know don't have no nutrition factor to it. So therefore you are correct in an indirect way. Okay. But nutrient deficiency, inflammation, we got what else? There's about 2 or 3 more. There's about 2 or 3 more things that can cause us to get a disease. Anybody know? Somebody says sleep deprivation. Not directly. Indirectly, if you get sleep deprived, then it's going to mess with your hormones, and then the hormones then will start to do some damage. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? No, we already covered stress. We've already covered immune deficiency. We've covered the nutrient deficiency. We've covered inflammation. Okay. If you're always getting infections, okay, if you're always getting infections, that's an immune deficiency. Okay. Some of us can have overactive immune systems. If you have an overactive immune system, then you can start dealing with things like autoimmune diseases. Also, you can start running into allergic reactions. So when you have a overactive immune system, look at those things: autoimmunity and allergies. Now, when you have a underactive immune system, that's when you're prone to a lot of colds and flus, infections, and cancers. Okay, so it's the underactivity that's causing the infections, the colds, the flus, and the cancer growth, but it is the overactivity that can cause allergic reactions all the time, allergies, aka, and also autoimmune issues. All right, the way we think. Yes, the way we think is also in there. Okay, also in there is the way we think. Okay, so how we want to put that is thought life, right? Our thought life. Our thought life can create chemical toxicity. Okay, chemical toxicity. So that's still going to go in line with toxicity, but your thought life can start to create some of these things. Okay, all right, they can start to create some of these things along with the, again, poor diet, all these types of stuff, not being able to get in tune and be in alignment with your true purpose. All these things can start to cause dis-ease, because the moment that you feel uncomfortable, the moment that you feel anxiety, the moment that you feel depression, the moment that you feel oppression or suppression, the moment that you feel isolated and desolated, the moment that you feel solitude and despair, the moment that you feel fear and anger, the moment that you feel hate and disappointment, the moment that you feel these things and you continue to chronically over life continue to feel these things, then that's why you're going to have these things come out as a disease over time. Okay, so that's about 5 to 7 reasons right there of why people get diseases. Now, here's the thing: you got to know how to build a concoction. You got to know how to build herbs. You got to know how to talk to people. So that's why the consultation is so important. The owner's manual is the most important thing that you could ever hear on social media today, because this is about consulting you. And the reason why we want to consult you is because I need to listen to your life, not to you, so to speak, but more about your life. And the reason why is because there's a lot of components that come into creating disease. So you could be eating right, you could be drinking right, you could be thinking right, but you're still dealing with something that's uncomfortable. So that means that it can come from somewhere that needs to be highlighted. Some of you guys, just because you are in the present doing the right thing, in the past, you might be still holding on to some stuff. Some stuff you can show everybody that you're doing the right thing on the outside, but on the inside, there can still be some fluff there. There can still be some things that need to be repaired, removed, or recycled. And so consultation is me listening to you, not necessarily to you tell me your problems, but to you as far as understanding your life. And there are going to be certain questions I ask, like, are you satisfied? Okay. Are you satisfied with your work life? Okay, I'm gonna ask you this: are you satisfied with your work life? Right, that means that, or is it anybody on the job that you got to go to that job every day that you don't like, that you got to be around? Because what I'm trying to get you to understand is that, is there anything that you're doing in your life that you don't want to do, that's also can cause these problems, because you cannot be going against the tide of life. So you can have all your ducks in a row as far as your food and your drink, but then there's going to be an environment. Remember, that environment is going to influence the functionality of the cell. And you are 50 to 100 trillion cells. The cell is just like you. It breathes like you. It pee like you. It poop like you. It eat like you. It work like you. The cell life is your life. Okay, so that's the reason why you got that kind of programming, is because it's programmed in your cell. Okay, so your cell, again, it breathes like you, it eats like you, it thinks like you, but the environment still creates the functionality. The environment still influences the cell. And so again, I told you guys yesterday, you got fire, air, earth, and water, the body being the earth, but the fire, air, and the earth, the fire, air, and the water, the sun, the air, and the water is the environment in which that body resides, in which is on the earth. And what you got to know how to do is keep that environment in cohesive with where you're wanting to go in your paradigm, in your life experience. If you're wanting to be rich, you got to have an environment that's conducive of you getting to those riches. If you want to be sociable, if you want to have a family dynamic, you have to create an environment that is producing and encouraging that kind of social lifestyle, that kind of family lifestyle. If you want to be healthy, then you got to get around folk that's doing healthy things. You got to create an environment that's going to be promoting and encouraging a healthy lifestyle. It is the environment that is influencing your cells. The environment tells your cells what is needed. If the environment is too hot, the cell know to cool it down. If the environment is too cool, the cell know to warm it up. So at the end of the day, it is the environment that is dictating the functionality, what the job function is for the cell. And it's no different than the earth's environment for your life. But you're not on the seasonal understanding. You're not on the cyclical understanding of nature. You're not on nature's time clock. You're not on nature's pattern. So how would you ever know this? And how would you ever be able to tap into this powerful thing that you got within you if you don't know that it's there? Okay. So with these consultations, that's why you need a consultation, so that I ain't just, you talking about, I just want something for blood pressure. No, I need to know about your life, because it could be the herb may not work. Okay. The herb may not work. Are you satisfied with your love life? Okay. Some of you guys are having a hard time at the work life and the love life. And this can be a reason why you are running down the road to Sickville, USA. So it ain't always about the eating and the drinking. But we, as a consultant, I need to listen to you. I can tell people how strong. I can tell when people are telling me that they're doing everything right, but they still got this itch that they can't scratch. And the reason why is because it could be inner. You could be doing everything right on the outside to make it look good, but you could be in the private doing things you ain't got no business doing to yourself, causing these problems. And so sometimes when everybody like to clean up the house, it doesn't mean that it ain't one of those, all that shit ain't in one of them closets. And so what we do is we find the closet where you hid all the shit at. And that's why the consultation is important. Now, another thing is we got to ask you about is, are you satisfied? Okay. Are you satisfied with what else? If you're going to school, if you're going to school, if you're going to church, whatever it is, but the thing is, do you feel like you're in your purpose? Okay. Are you satisfied with what you feel like your purpose is? Okay. So we got work life I got to ask you about. We got love life I got to ask you about. And then we got purpose that needs to be asked about, because if you still haven't reached your purpose, then that still is an itch that you can't scratch that will still cause stress on the mind and the body. Okay. Okay. So these are the understandings of why a consultation is important, and why we need to understand these three factors in order to eliminate them as some of the root issues if concerning disease. Okay. So don't be afraid when people ask you about what this got to do with my love life, everything, because if you're not satisfied, then that is causing a stress on your life. If you're not getting what you need or desire in some of these places that you feel like you want some things, then that's going to cause a stress. Now, either we are either going to find a way to get you those things, or we can replace this category with something else more viable for you. Maybe it ain't in your cards to find a man. So, but you can still find family, and you can still find community, and you can still find a sense of belonging. Maybe it's not in your cards to actually get the wealth and the riches that you're looking for, but we can still re-identify what wealth looks like to you. And if you can just understand comfortability, then I can get you to a comfortable spot instead of the million now. What if we get you 75,000, and because of your personality and because of just what you want out of life, 75,000 can get you the life that you're looking for. You don't need 1.75 million. You just need 75,000. So you just need somebody to be able to institute a different perspective, a different way for you to see yourself in that life. Let's get you to the point where we can get you to. Let's move though. See, if you at zero trying to get to $1 million, it's immovable. But let's get you to $100. If I can get you $100, we can get you 1,000. We can get you 1,000. We can get you 10. We can get you 10. We can get you 100. But let's move. Okay, let's create agendas that are attainable so that we can get to that place. So those 3 questions need to be asked, and I can't ask you that just because you want a high blood pressure blend. I can't ask you that when you just want to go get that blood sugar blend. I can't ask you that if you just want to go get that detox. Now, that don't mean that you need to be asked that, but at the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that this is the difference from treatment, from being treated, and from being healed. When somebody is treating you, they'll go by your definition of what you're going through. But when somebody is trying to heal you, aka a holistic practitioner, supposed to be about, is trying to get you back to activate these healing components in your life, then those 3 questions are necessary. Satisfactory in work life, love life, and with your purpose here on life has to be questions that's got to be answered. They got to be questions that's got to be answered. Okay. All right. Anybody else? All right, so this is what this looked like real quick. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. This is what this looked like really quick. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, so here, disease. What keeps you going is these stem cells, okay? So you got neural stem cells, you got hepatic stem cells. You also got your bone marrow, okay? Your bone marrow and all that type of stuff, tissue cells and all that type of stuff. Don't worry about the herbs right now, but if you look at the herbs, there's some good ass herbs, because as you can see, I'm searching all over the globe. We ain't trying to stop at one location, okay? This is a global thing. And so even when I had my herb shop, we had herbs all over the world, okay? I had herbs from South Africa, Canada, again, from everything that I've been teaching y'all. I had herbs from traditional Chinese medicine. I still got them. I got herbs from Ayurvedic, herbs from Africa, herbs from the Western herbalism. So again, when we do our work, we do it from a global world perspective. Okay, even when I'm talking to you guys on here, you never heard me talking to you. This ain't a black man thing. This ain't a white man thing. This is a world movement. Okay, if you're trying to go to alternative medicines, somebody got to be able to understand this from a world perspective. I don't want a piece of the pie. I want the whole pie, and that's the world. Because again, the valuability of even some of these traditional modalities. Let me put that down real quick. Of even some of these traditional modalities, the valuability is the Chinese people got a good system, but some folks still die over there because the herb that you need is in Africa. And if some of them, Africa got a good little traditional African medicine and the sangomas and all that type of stuff, but there's still Africans dying by the droves. You want to know why? Because some of the herbs that you need ain't in Africa. They might medicine. And so they got a good system of understanding how to rest and calm the body and relax the mind. But at the same time, folks are still dying in India. You want to know why? Because the herb that some folks need over there ain't in India. It's in America. And so America was built on some Western herbalism, some good roots there from the native Indians and from Southern herbalism and all these factors that factor in to make up European herbalism that makes up Western herbalism. So you got some good stuff, some good herbs that sprinkled here and there throughout Western herbalism, but there's still folks dying by the drove, even in Europe and in Western America. And it's because the herb that you need ain't in America, it might be in Africa. Because you're using this whole global perspective in partiality. And if I'm a holistic practitioner, if I'm a holistic person trying to provide a holistic understanding to the human being, then I must be able to see the world in holism. and you might have to pull your herbs from different places. So some of these herbs on here, you ain't never heard of herbalists talking about because they're not world dynamic. They're not world minded to be able to understand that you ain't got it over here to fix folks' stuff. Some stuff it ain't over here. Cancer bush, yeah, you need that from South Africa. You need that from South Africa. That cat's claw, yeah, a lot of people can get that. A lot of folks don't know nothing about astragalus. Astragalus being one of the best herbs for your stem cell growth, because this is what repairs you. This is what keeps you going. This is what keeps you from aging. Astragalus also is going to extend the length of your telomeres. Now, we know your telomeres get shorter as you age. There's not a whole lot of things that's going to elongate your telomeres other than sleep, rest, meditation, and also astragalus, because it has that TA65. If y'all go Google this, you'll understand that TA65 is the ingredient that's in astragalus that helps you keep your telomeres elongated, which keeps you from aging, and then also is going to do what? Promote the stem cell growth. It's promoting stem cell growth. It's literally that TA65 is literally saying, go ahead, let's grow some more, let's build some more. Also is one of the best herbs for your immune system. But everybody don't know nothing about that, right? Okay. And that Southern Landia is cancer bush for y'all that don't know. Y'all so big on what's that herb y'all big on that I don't like at all, but y'all big on it? What's that herb, man? Oregano oil. Oh, can I get some oregano oil? I want oregano oil. You got oregano oil? Come on, man. Olive leaf extract. Okay, olive leaf, the leaf, Mediterranean. Olive leaf is way better, way stronger. But y'all don't know nothing about that because you're too trendy. Okay, you're too trendy. All right, you're too trendy. You don't know nothing about baobab. All right, the maca, the reishi. Okay, the top 3 mushrooms. Okay, now they trending y'all on mushrooms. So now you think lion's mane and cordyceps and all of these, man, the 3 main mushrooms. When I was learning about mushrooms was for cancer. We didn't nobody play around with mushroom. Mushroom was for cancer when I started learning about this stuff. So we didn't go across no lion's mane and no chaga and no, that's all that old bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The real main mushrooms is reishi, maitake, and shiitake. When you in trouble and you're looking for a mushroom, you need to be looking for reishi, maitake, shiitake, and then last but not least, turkey tail. Those are your 4 biggest mushrooms on the planet. Is reishi, maitake, shiitake, and turkey tail mushroom. All this other stuff, be careful and be aware. Okay, be careful and be aware. So we're showing you this global understanding of the body, of the herb, so you understand that when we're giving you these concoctions, they are coming from the best place that you can probably build a concoction from. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what this is. Yep. All right, so now you understand it. So now when we're looking at what it takes, YouTube, I got a slide up that's showing them what it takes to be able to get to the healing. So we know the diseases, right? So now what is the owner's manual herbal blend gonna do? Okay, reduce inflammation. Okay, I'm letting you know off the rip, what is the natal blend gonna do if I buy it from my owner's manual HerbMan? It reduces inflammation, which is the calming pathway of chronic disease. That's the first thing that you can understand, because we understand that inflammation is a link to disease. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. That's one of the things it's gonna do. Next, what is the herbs from the owner's manual supposed to do? They are supposed to also be detoxifying accumulated poisons. Okay, they're supposed to be detoxifying accumulated poison. So this is that bioaccumulation and toxins thing, right? So then it's supposed to be a detoxifier. All right, these herbs are supposed to help you detoxify, right? Which is our modern burden because of all of the insecticides and pesticides and all that stuff that we're putting on our foods, and with our environmental toxins detoxification becomes the number one thing. I'm gonna go back to that herb slide to show you what herbs that they're showing you for these amongst more. Okay, nourishing starved cells. Okay, so we now know that they also must have some nutrition, right? There's not one person on the planet that has gotten a herbal blend from me from their natal chart that didn't have Irish moss, bladderwrack, stuff like that, because we know you got to put nutrition in the body, okay? Because you gotta nourish the starved cells, because again, you could be asking the body to do things that the body don't have the materials to do, okay? We can be asking the body to detoxify when the body ain't got the materials to detoxify. You can ask the body to cleanse, and you want to do all of this little stuff that you're reading about. But if your body don't have the raw material to perform the function, then you got a problem. So when you get in your concoctions, you got to make sure that you're addressing nutrition inside of the concoction. Look, there is no panacea product, but there is a panacea program that I've been teaching you guys day in and day out that we have. We have the information to reprogram your body. But what we have to do is show you the information that we have in order for you to be able to be confident in when you're choosing traditional medicine, that is going to still give you the same assessment in a deeper rooted understanding of the causes of illnesses, and also a deeper rooted understanding of your remedies. I know you don't want to miss a step. You don't want to come over here half stepping, so that's fine. Understanding this thing is going by the same stuff. We're matching spirit and science together. So it's called Spirions, all right? Spirit and science comes together, and that's where the owner's manual is the biggest plus for everybody. If you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM us, and we'll get you the information that you need. It's only a funky, measly $50, you guys, and you'll be able to take your health back into your own hands. This is not something where you got to rely on me afterwards. Once you get your owner's manual, you can literally, you have your health in your own hands, all right? All right, last but not least, we're teaching people how to fish. We're not going to open up no two-piece fish restaurant because we see y'all like our cooking. Rebalancing immunity, okay? Autoimmunity and all that type of stuff. Remember, we told you guys if you have immune weaknesses, all right? So the herbal blends is going to help you rebalance your immunity, all right? The herbal blend is going to help you rebalance your immunity, which is one of the reasons why people can get diseases, okay? It's going to restore the flow of blood, oxygen, and subtle energy back to the organs, back to the cells, okay? Because we're giving you the food, we're giving you the nutrition, we're showing you how to breathe, we're putting you back into nature and giving you all kind of understandings of how much sunlight you're supposed to have, what the real water is you're supposed to drink, how much airtime you're supposed to have outside, how much of food and what kinds of foods that you need to eat based on your birthday, which is your longest lasting information link to the cosmos. Your birthday is the longest lasting link that you have to the cosmos. Everything else says you're a human except for the day you were born is going to link you to the cosmos. Okay. And last but not least, the owner's manual, your natal blend, is going to align the body with natural rhythms. Very important. This might be the last one, but it's the best one. Aligns the body with natural rhythms and higher consciousness, because once we show you where you are in the paradigm, once we GPS you, and once we lock you in, and once you see how nature has you in this in the skeptoscope, and once you see that you're never too far away and you're always in the binoculars of God, and once you understand that it's somebody that knows you better than anybody on the planet, then you'll be able to understand how the natural rhythms and getting back into this flow and the ebbs and flow. Don't fight against the waves and the currents of life. Flow with them. And your owner's manual will allow you to do that. All right. Now let's keep it moving. Let's see if I got some more receipts for y'all. Let's see if I got some more receipts for you. Okay. Yeah, that's a remedy right there. Y'all don't want it yet. You ain't ready for those. You ain't ready for those. But you should be. You need to be ready for those, okay? You need to be ready to understand how to get rid of inflammation, okay? How to get rid of inflammation, what are detoxifiers. Matter of fact, let's just talk about it real quick. Y'all want to talk about some herbs? Put some ones in the chat if y'all want to talk about what herbs can help you with this, okay? So I know y'all be always talking about HerbMan don't never talk about the herbs, as if I don't know nothing about no goddamn herbs. I know something about all kind of herbs, all right? But if y'all want to talk about the herbs, we'll talk about the herbs really quick. Okay, Really quick. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. First of all, I might not talk about no herbs. Not at no 19,000 with no 100 people on here. We ain't talking about no herbs. I ain't talking about no herbs till I at least get to 50K. Y'all not finna work me. I don't know what the hell wrong with y'all. Y'all not finna work me, man. Go tell somebody that your homie HerbMan is on. See, you don't want to hear this information because you want to go down to the hospital. That's fine. Go on down to the hospital. Cut me off. You don't want to hear this information because you still want to do what you want to do. That's fine. Cut me off. I'd rather be talking to one person that's getting it and ready to do it than to be talking to a 200 stubborn, stuck in their ways, ain't gonna do a goddamn thing to save nobody or themselves. I'd rather not be talking to y'all. This ain't a popularity contest. This is an effectiveness contest. Who's effective? I ain't worried about who's popular. Who's effective? Okay? So understand that inflammation, immune issues, nutrition, poor diet, poor sleep, poor consumption of water, malnutrition. A lot of us are malnutrition today. We are the richest people on the planet, and we're malnutrition because most of our foods don't have anything in it because the soil. And if there's nothing in the soil, then there's not going to be anything too much in the food. And so therefore, even though you're eating good, you're not eating anything in it that's good for you. Okay? Hospital, hospice. Who is this? Hospital, hospice. Who is that? The hospital. At Catrice paid, true, sure. I was told I need to have my yeah, I mean, I've helped so many people like that. I mean, you ain't the first one. I got people back in Georgia, man, that's been through their medications. They've been living off the herbs. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, we've got so many stories, man, so many cancer stories, so many just crazy stuff, man. I had somebody rub some garlic on them one time. They had skin cancer. Rub garlic on them, and the garlic made the tumor come out the other side of the leg. So now you got to do is just make sure it don't get infected, and we chase the tumor away. So there's a lot of different things that I've done to prove that things work. Okay. And sometimes what it is in how you are taking the herbs. A lot of these herbs you're not doing the right way. Some of these herbs should not be taken in powder form. They should be taken in whole food, meaning like giving somebody garlic powder. Garlic powder ain't gonna do shit for you, but garlic will do whatever it needs to do. But you got to understand how to eat garlic in order to do that, or use raw garlic in the right way. But some of this stuff is just due down to preparation. Again, great information, wrong application. They ain't telling you that you need to cook hydrangea root for 6 hours or soak hydrangea root for 5 hours, or they ain't telling you that some of these concoctions take overnight for me to be able to make them for you, because you got to let them sit and you got to let them cook overnight. So a lot of that stuff they don't tell you. So you think that you just gonna get healed off of 1 teaspoon a day, and you just boiled that shit and steeped it for 5 minutes in your little cup. Oh, I did for 5 minutes and I drank it and it do me some good. Y'all crazy. All right, you gotta eat it. Eat it. You gotta eat garlic. You gotta chew it. My wife has vascular malformation, clump of the veins, injuries 5 centimeters to the left. Yeah, but all that stuff, that's easy, Henry. You know what I'm saying? I just told you right there what to do. When I get into inflammation, when you guys, if y'all want me to help Henry, hurry up, get to 50K, because that's in inflammation, okay? That's in inflammation, all right? When we have these particular types of things, there are so many herbs that can help us out in these ways that's coming from all over the world. And a lot of times, again, it's not about a panacea product. But a lot of times you can create a panacea if you understand. You can create a panacea, okay? Everybody know what a panacea is, right? It's a cure-all, okay? Panacea means cure all. There is not one herb that can do this anymore because of modern man's, I'm gonna say the modern man's diseases is so accelerated that you're gonna need to have to do something else. Okay, there's maybe some old conditions, but not these new ones. Hell no. But what you can do is you can provide a synergy. All right, a synergy or a synergistic type of blend that can start to address the areas that cause disease. Remember that we're trying to do environment, not chase the disease. We're just trying to make disease hard for it to come in the environment. And there we can do that. We can do that. We can make the environment very difficult for you to continue to see sickness in that body or to ever get sickness in the body. That's why prevention is cheaper than the cure. So what we're trying to tell you is that in your time of need, don't try to run and try to get this because you won't find it. But there is a synergistic blend that can provide a panacea type of effect because it will make the environment very tough for disease to either come in or stay in. And that's what we're trying to do with the owner's manual. Okay. That's what we're trying to do with the owner's manual. You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. Okay. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. All right. So you got these herbs. And again, I just showed y'all some of these herbs right here. Disease bioaccumulation. Appreciate your holistic grandma. Yes, sir. We got them everywhere. We got them on TikTok. We got them on YouTube. Let me see if I got one more receipt for y'all. Let me see if I got one more receipt for y'all. All right. So right here, the deeper causes of disease. Okay. Again, inflammation, the toxic load, nutrient deficiency, immune dysregulation, microbial imbalance. A lot of us don't talk about the microbial imbalance, but we know that the gut microbiome is 80% of your digestive system. 80% of your immune system is in this digestive system. So your microbial life and that whole thing is very important. So again, all you got to worry about there is prebiotics, probiotics, fermented foods. Add them to your diet, but that ain't nothing but fruits and vegetables and a little fermented cabbage here and there, a little sauerkraut, a little bit of yogurt here and there, little kimchi. Matter of fact, you can go back to canning. If your grandmama used to can fermented foods. Okay, so these things needed to be in the diet. Okay, they provide the sulfur and some of the stuff that we need for what? Regeneration and all that type of stuff. So again, microbial imbalance is very big and is one of the reasons that can cause diseases, and is also one of the reasons that can solve diseases. Okay, all right. So again, here we go. Let's keep it. Poor circulation. I didn't even come to that. Poor circulation. That was number 7, actually. Poor circulation and oxygenation is one of the biggest factors for disease. So again, this is where garlic and this is where a lot of this stuff come in there. You guys see it right there? Anti-inflammatory circulatory herbs, okay? Turmeric, okay? But you got to know how to take turmeric. You can't just be going on any kind of turmeric. Turmeric needs some kind of bioavailability. So you need to couple it with ginger or couple it with black pepper and stuff like that. So ginger, garlic, hawthorn berry. Garlic is good only when ate as an anti-inflammatory. Okay, you got to eat the garlic. Poor circulation, oxygenation. You can help your high cholesterol just by understanding how to eat garlic. All right. Stress and hormonal imbalances. We told you guys about that, right? So excuse me. So this is the endocrine system, and this is where the adaptogens come into play. A lot of people don't know a whole lot about adaptogens, but adaptogens is one of the biggest, I'm gonna say, finds in herbalism. The Russians and all of that kind of adopted the name adaptogen because it adapts. It helps you adapt to what? To the stresses of life. So therefore, we was telling you guys about astragalus, and we're telling you guys about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a very, very, very big herb because guess what ashwagandha does, you guys? Ashwagandha helps us with our cortisol levels. It helps lowers our cortisol. Well, we know that cortisol is an enemy of the state because we've been so high on cortisol for so long that the cortisol is starting to wear and tear us, right? So if you wanted to balance this and you just couldn't get into oxytocin to do it, then you need some ashwagandha to do it. But I would say get ashwagandha and some oxytocin. Get some love with some ashwagandha and then see how you're able to help your cortisol levels. Right? So you just got astragalus, you just got ashwagandha, then I'm gonna give you the thumbs up on. Disconnection from natural rhythms. Again, y'all don't know that this is the reason why you're getting sick. Not being in the natural rhythm of where you're supposed to be in life. A lot of you guys are asking for stuff out of time, meaning out of season. It ain't the season for you yet to get this. It ain't the season for you yet to do this. It ain't the season for you yet to want this. But you keep doing it because you're out of nature's rhythm. And that's because you keep doing it, you feeling like everything is against you. Everything is a denial. Everything is a delay. And what's happening to you is now you're starting to grow cold. You're starting to grow angry. You're starting to grow frustrated. You're starting to grow weary. You're starting to grow hate for everybody, the religion, God, people, everything, because you think that life is unfair. But it's really all about you not knowing your nature and not knowing how to get in tune with nature. And it's because of your ignorance that you're in the position, and it's not due to anybody else or anything else outside of you having been taught your true nature. Okay. And so getting out of these natural rhythms and getting disconnected from these environmental things that are influencing you is going to cause you big problems down the line. And we can help you with that again with these adaptogens. Okay. These adaptogens. All right. And so the loss of movement and stagnation. This is another deeper cause. When you're not moving in life, it also can be a microcosm of things stagnated within you. Okay, if you're not moving in life, if you're feeling stagnated in life, then you can start getting blood clots in real life. You can start getting stagnation in your blood because, again, you are a macro of the micro and vice versa. So loss of movement is a big thing. And here's the thing. I can't give you no herb for movement. That's something that you just got to do within yourself. The longest living people on the planet are called the Japanese people, which I used to live over there for 4 years in Sasebo, Japan. Okay. I lived there for 4 years in Sasebo, Japan. Every morning, these folks up here moving, you don't even know how old they is. You can tell they old, but you don't know how old they is because they moving. And they ain't trying to do nothing abrupt. They're not trying to go to no weight room, and they ain't trying to run, but they're just moving in movement with nature. Just subtle, calm movements that's keeping the limbs extended and keeping the arms extended and keeping the flow of motion within the limbs and keeping everything in flow with what they are feeling in that moment. And they get them 10 minutes every morning to get it done and get it out the way. Then y'all gonna go to work. It's a part of the culture, a part of their lifestyle, and you wonder why they're living long. So we can't give you a herb for movement. You got to be able to do these things within your own life. And when you start to move in your real life, you'll start to move things inside of your body. All right. Environmental stressors, right? We already talked about environmental stressors, all the stuff that's around us. That's going to be a big component because the environment influences the cell. The environment influences your life. The loss of harmony with nature. You don't know this, but this is a deep cause for your disease because you're not getting enough sunlight. You're not going outside enough, getting outside air. You're just in air conditioning. You're in the heater all day. You're in the car air conditioner. You're in the car heater. You're at the job air conditioner, the job heater. Back to the car air conditioner. Back to the car heater. Back to your house air conditioner. Back to your your house heater. When have you got outside air in the lungs? When did you drink well water, natural spring water, instead of bottled water and faucet water all the time? Okay. And these things can do what? They can lead to the other stuff. Suppressed emotions can cause deep-rooted diseases, and energetic blockages, which is these chakras that we teach you about, can cause these things. So what are these energetic blockages? Again, remember what I've been teaching you guys. That's what this is. That's what you getting all of this stuff in your owner's manual, you guys. All right. So these are energies, and you can hover over one of these things, and it's because a blockage is there that you stay stuck in your root, where you stay stuck in survival mode. You stay stuck worried about money. You come in the paradigm worrying about money, you leave out of the paradigm worried about money because you got stuck in the root chakra of life. You can come into the paradigm and get stuck in the second chakra, which is your sacral chakra. You can get stuck in thinking that your meaning is all about reproductive. Okay. Everything about you and everything about meaning of life is about the reproductive system, and you can get stuck there. You can be a sexaholic. You can get stuck in mama and daddyism, where if you never get those things, you feel that life ain't worthy of it. And so you came in with reproductive issues and you leave out with reproductive issues. You came in with relationship issues and you leave out with relationship issues. you got stuck at the sacral chakra. Now you can come in and get stuck in the solar plexus, right? And this is again about self-control issues, right? You coming into the paradigm feeling like you the God and doing this, that, and the third. You come in with that mentality and you leave out with that mentality, but you still got stuck. It's a constant flow in between all of these. You need to be able to move in between all of these, and you move not in a straight line, you move in a spiralness to get to them. So as you can see that these are all levels. Okay, these are all levels, you guys. All right, so this is a level. That's a level. That's a level. Level. Right, and when you look at it, you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels. All right, 7 levels, but 12 lessons. 7 levels, but 12 lessons. But they're all coming to the 9. Okay, so 1 to 9. Now, if you're life path 11, that's a 2. If you're life path 22, that's a 4. If you're life path 33, that's a 6. So all of those are going to be of the air element, the love and the healing. So 22s, 33s, 4s and 6s, because that's basically what it is. 4s and 6s are the air elements, okay? The spiritual conscious people, all right? That's all that is. Let's keep it moving. Last but not least, the ignorance of soul purpose. All right, I try to tell you. Again, we don't have herbs for these things. So then how do you get this healing? How are you able to get this healing if you don't have the herbs for it? Somebody got to show you how to do it. And this is nature-based interventions, and that's what we're doing with the owner's manual, which is what makes this so important. Okay? Any questions thus far? Right? Any questions thus far? Once you know disease, then we know how to concoct these particular herbs for you to be able to help you. So one of the biggest herbs for inflammation that people don't know about is an herb called boswellia. Okay? That's why I tell y'all don't look at those herbs so close, because that ain't what I use. This is what I use to teach you. Okay? But there's a lot of anti-inflammatory herbs. A lot of anti-inflammatory herbs, right? So boswellia, or in other words, this is frankincense, okay? The resin for frankincense, very good anti-inflammatory, especially if you couple this. Remember that this is supposed to be synergy. These herbs have to mix with other herbs. So boswellia, if you did boswellia, if you did ginger, if you did turmeric, then you wouldn't have to put black pepper with turmeric because the ginger is there. If you didn't have ginger, then you would need prickly ash bark, because prickly ash bark would add something to this as well. Then you got a white willow. White willow is good, but if you got blood pressure issues, then you might not want to take white willow. But these are anti-inflammatory herbs, okay? Anti-inflammatory herbs that if you put them together, they can do you some really, really good work on especially the bones and arthritis and things of that nature, okay? And all these old turmeric is very good for digestive inflammation. Also, turmeric is very good for stem cell proliferation. So now you got something that's going to be promoting stem cell growth, but then you got something else that's promoting that proliferation. And turmeric is one of those that promote the proliferation of your stem cells. So turmeric is a very good one. I never really liked turmeric like that, but it is very good when you look at what it can do with other parts of the body. I don't like it as a pain reliever, but when you're looking at digestive inflammation, let's say you got Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, you got some kind of irritable bowel syndrome, then you want to add turmeric to that particular. So I would do turmeric, slippery elm, marshmallow root, something like that, and you'll see that inflammation from your digestive system go away. All right, turmeric root. You can do turmeric root, all right? Turmeric root. But if you're trying to make a blend of that, what I just showed you, then yeah, it would need to be in the powder form. But you can do ginger. I do ginger root. Give me some turmeric root. Give me some boswellia. Give me some, you know what I mean? So if you're dealing with arthritis, I just gave y'all a pain blend right there, all right? All right? Now, what else we got? What else we got right there? Hawthorn berry. Hawthorn is circulatory herbs along with the garlic, okay? The immune herbs, we told y'all about the astragalus, the echinacea, the cancer bush, which is called southern landia, and the reishi mushroom. Detoxification herbs, okay? So these detoxification herbs, moringa, milk thistle, dandelion, burdock, they ain't the only ones. Obviously, you got yellow dock. You got some other herbs in there that could really help out with detoxification. Moringa is one of those herbs that a lot of people don't know about for detoxification. And then it also is going to help out with the nutrient deficiency. So if you're looking for nutritious types of herbs, we like to use herbs like moringa, alfalfa, Irish moss. Okay, so you'll see that in our blends we use mostly Irish moss for this effect, but these are herbs that's going to help you out with the nutrition. Okay, nutrition. If you're looking for building muscle, building up your whatever it is, nutrition rise, you never go wrong with moringa, alfalfa, and Irish moss. Anybody else? When taking detoxification herbs, we need a carrier, right? Is that for all of them? What you mean, a carrier oil, Catrice? You talking about a carrier oil, or you talking about a main herb? Because when I hear carrier, that's more about essential oils. We're not talking about essential oil. These are whole foods, so these are tea blends. So these are actual tea leaves that you can be able to get. Now, some of this you can use in powder, but I'll differentiate between the ones. Some of this stuff you got to eat it, like garlic, you got to eat it. That's not a powder type thing. A main herb to pull out over the system and not just move it. Yeah, I thought you were talking about this. Yeah, so you're talking about the main herb, right? So the main herb is going to coincide with the main organ, right? So if I'm looking to detoxify the liver, then milk thistle would be the main herb, or Oregon grapefruit would be the main herb. If I'm looking to detoxify the kidney, okay, then juniper berry may be the main herb, or buchu may be the main herb, or dandelion leaf may be the main herb. If I'm looking to detoxify my colon, okay, then cascada sagrada may be the main herb, or yellow dock may come in and start to try to be the main herb, or something like that. So the main herb is going to constitute the main issue, the main organ. So you want more of that, and then you want some of these other things just to kind of be complementary to. Which herbs assist with the dissolution of kidney stones? If you want to get your owner's manual juice now, we'll get you your owner's manual. We'll get you all. Very easy, bro. Very easy to do. You said Oregon grapefruit is a liver detox. No, I didn't. I said Oregon grapefruit is good to detoxify the liver. That don't mean that it's a liver detox. That don't mean that you can just go get Oregon grapefruit and thinking that your liver gonna be detoxed. That's why I don't like to talk about herbs on social media. This is why. Because y'all don't know how to listen properly. You see what I'm saying? And you don't know that this is not for everybody. Okay? This is not for everybody, man. You need a consultation. Y'all need a consultation. Y'all stop trying to come on social media, trying to pick up little its and bits and stuff like that. It won't work. It won't work. That's why you still searching. I ain't the first herbalist y'all looking at. You still searching because you're trying to get your remedy through your way of learning, and it ain't gonna work like that, bro. You got to come and be in my care. Let me take care of you. Okay? You got to come and be in my care. You can't try to rob the information like that. All right. So now, the adaptogens, right? So these are some of the good ones because these are the stress hormone. These are the stress herbs, right? Everybody want to know about the stress herbs. If you got anxiety, depression, if you're dealing with cortisol levels, adrenaline levels, can't sleep, all that type of stuff. So some of the main three that everybody need to know about is holy basil, okay, rhodiola, and ashwagandha. Okay, ashwagandha. So holy basil, rhodiola, and ashwagandha. Put them three together. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Your ass gonna relax. Okay, you gonna chill and you're gonna be calm. But there's other stuff too. There's some milder stuff than this. Everybody doesn't like rhodiola, so you got a milder one. The milder one is going to be chamomile, wood betony, and lemon balm. That's what I normally give people who just want to chill without trying to feel like they're going to sleep, without trying to feel like they're on medication for something. Then there's other levels to this stuff, you guys. So again, these are the herbs that help out with the stress imbalance, right? So when you come into the HerbMan and you're letting me know and you're going through consultation, I'll know what is the deeper causes of your diseases, and we can be able to fulfill the order. Fulfill what you need done. But you got to talk to the person, because a lot of y'all don't think that you're under stress. A lot of y'all don't think that you're this and you're that until you talk to a person. Then you can start seeing where the issues may lie. I have the ashwagandha and the holy basil. Okay. Lemon balm is powerful for stress. Facts. Yes. Also, lemon balm is very good for flatulence. So if you're having gas and you're having flatulence, lemon balm. Anybody else? Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. Keep tapping and I will keep talking. What's rhodiola? It's a herb for anxiety. All right. Anybody? Can you smoke lemon balm? I'm not really all into the smoking, but you can smoke a lot of herbs. AltoNet. You can smoke a lot of them. Anybody else? Let's keep it moving, you guys. Let's keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Y'all a little back behind the curtains today. Kidney healing. Yes, if you got kidney issues, you need your owner's manual with Genie C. Okay. Mixed herbs and make a tea. Basically, yes, even parts, some equal parts. But then some of it shouldn't have equal parts because some of them just complementary herbs. You just got to know how to do this stuff. Y'all do your research. Combustion changes the makeup of the herb. Combustion. Juice now, what are you talking about? Combustion. What are you talking about? Combustion. I want to know what you're talking about on that, Juice now. What you mean by combustion? Got to find the one: high anxiety, stress, trauma bonds, grief, trauma. Yeah, so you just put those three together to help you. Doctor just want to give you Adderall. You don't need Adderall. You know what I'm saying? You just need those three herbs I told you about. If you're dealing with depression, we have depression blends. Those going to be different herbs. If you're dealing with anxiety, this is mostly going to help you with the anxiety that's producing the cortisol. Depression herbs are a little different from here. Okay. All right. The owner's manual is a manual that serves as a guide to help you balance your life back out with nature. Okay. When you put your spiritual tendencies with your physical tendencies on the line, then we're able to get to the root cause of your problem and get you to balance with nature, which basically going to mean that you're healed. Okay. So the owner's manual serves as a guide for that. All we need is your birthday. Okay, we don't need your blood type, your blood sample, no hair sample, stool sample. Is non-invasive, non-intrusive. The longest identity that you have, the longest piece of identity tag that you have is your birthday. We use your birthday to get you back into balance with cosmology, which is nature. And once you're able to get the understanding of what nature wants from you versus what you want from the world, then you can properly balance those two things. You got to know what nature wants from you. You just been coming in here just thinking about what the fuck you want. But there's something that wants and desires something from you. And that's how you formulate a relationship back with nature. God wants something from you. Nature desires for you to give back. It's this. That's why we need to learn our natural laws, the law of correspondence, the law of reciprocity, the law of return, the law of rhythm. Okay. If we start learning our natural laws, we will know what is required from us from nature. Okay. Anybody understand it? Don't nobody understand that? TikTok want me to play these little games real quick, y'all. So hold on. Okay. Everybody get that, right? Once you understand what nature desires from you, that's half of the puzzle. Okay. That's half of the puzzle. So what's happening is we've just been programmed to want things out of life until your designated end. And they're banking that you don't know more than just that. They don't want you to know more than just that. Nobody cares if you come in here and be a millionaire or a gazillionaire, you guys. They just don't want you to do it for forever. Do you understand that? White people, black folks, whoever you think got the key to whatever, they don't give a damn about you getting money. That's why black people got money, Spanish people got money, white people got money, African people got money. Nobody cares about you spending your days and hours and weeks yearning for money because you have an end. The only time you're going to wreak fear in my heart about the amount of money you got is if you continuously keep it for forever and but because there is an end time, who cares? Who cares if you know how to get this money? I mean, Jimmy Carter, great man, 100 years, that's it. They will allow you to be able to do whatever you're going to do in your little 70 to 100 years. And long as you leave here, you are no worry to anybody. What they don't want you to do is live forever on the resources. They don't give a damn about you living a little short amount of time and get some resources. Why you think they don't care about your retirement or care about your 401k or care about you gambling and getting rich or care about you playing sports and they don't give a damn because it is a limited life. By the time you get the wealth, you would have endured so much physically that they're banking that you don't live long with the wealth. You got it, but you won't live long with it. And so because of that, there's no fear. The fear is existing forever on the natural resources. That's the fear. The fear is existing forever on the natural resources. That's the fear. So they don't ever want you to come into knowledge that will push the envelope of longevity in your life. Just because you want to get rich don't mean you're going to live long. Just because you want to go to the gym today don't mean you're going to live long. So therefore nothing is going to stop that. Ain't nobody going to talk shit about that because you don't streak. Exercising ain't the key. So you don't streak no fear in nobody's heart. So go on down to the gym, y'all, because it ain't going to make you live longer. So we ain't going to stop that. Until information comes in that extends life outside of the medical facility, then that's when you're going to start seeing people get in trouble. Because the medical facility wants to find this out first, but they're doing it the wrong way because they don't and they refuse to accept spirituality in this thing called spirions. It is a connection between spirit and science that we must understand. But if they convince you that it's all science, you'll miss the boat. There are some things that are going to be unexplainable. There are some miracles. There are some healings. There are some financial progressions. There are some social things that are going to come about in your life that are just simply unexplainable. And you can't measure it up to nobody else's life, and you can't figure out it, and you ain't going to be able to understand why. Remember the job that Job had. Remember, I'm trying to tell you about that's your job, right? Remember the wife came in. That is just symbolic of how many people that are coming to your life and try to tell you about the reason they think this is happening to you. Well, I think you poor because your mama was poor. Well, I think you're single because you got a bad temper. Well, I think that you're sick because you were eating bad. Everybody try to tell you their rendition of why they think God is mad at you or why you ain't getting the way you need to go. And what did Job told his wife? Girl, you better get on away from him. You better get on away from him because, again, everything can't be explained intellectually. Everything can't be explained intellectually. Oh, Joe, you was a great man. How did this happen to you? Oh, you were doing good, Maybell. How did this happen to you? Oh, you were doing great, John. How did this happen? See, everything can't be explained. So sometimes the CAT scan can't explain it. Sometimes the MRI can't explain it. Sometimes the PET scan can't explain it. Sometimes the metformin won't do it for you. And sometimes the Losartan won't do it for you. And sometimes the statin won't do it for you because it cannot be explained. And that's when you got to switch over into something else. And so what we're trying to get you to understand, white man and black man and Asian man and South American man and African man, what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is you got to know both things to push the human forward. And with your owner's manual for a funky measly $50, we're able to give you this information in the palm of your own hands so that you can start taking better care of your own self and understanding nature's influence in your life. And stop ignoring this stuff. Stop ignoring it, okay? We got to stop ignoring it. Y'all are sick, and then you want to try to run to the herbalist, and you ain't gave a damn about the earth. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship ain't good enough with nature for nature to save you. So let's start to rekindle. Let's start to rekindle. Remember, let's start that conversation. Start to go back outside and say, I'm sorry, grass, for ignoring you. I'm sorry, Al, for bypassing you. I'm sorry, sunlight, for never addressing you. Even in my grace, I ain't saying thank you for the sunlight. Even in my grace, I don't say thank you for the air. Even in my grace, I don't say thank you for the water. I'm saying thank you for the food. But what about the environment that's conducive to me being alive? I haven't. So my thing is to you, you're severing the relationship. If you don't talk to mama, then don't think that mama gonna come to your rescue just because you want her to. Rekindle your relationship, because mama got a lot of things in store for you, and she knows you better than anybody knows you. Mama, by your birthday, know you better than anybody, including me. I don't know now one of y'all, but when you give me your birthday, it'll seem like it, because that's mama knowing you, not me. I don't know none of y'all. And after I give you the reading, I still won't know you. It's nature saying to you, baby, you're my baby. I'm the manufacturer of you. And we need to talk so that I can show you how to share this time and space with intellect and your intuition. Okay? All right. I love it, Mama Nature. Yes, I'm sorry, Heart. I'm sorry, Heart, for not appreciating you. Earth. Is that what you're trying to say? Earth, you're always 100% right. I'm just on here trying to do my job, man, my due diligence. And that's to uplift my brothers and sisters. That's to find some kind of way to connect to my brothers and sisters. I know we speak different languages, we look different, and we come from different places, but there is some commonality between all of us. Do y'all know what that is? And I know that some people don't understand what I'm saying because they don't understand English right now. But there is something that we can tap into that is a commonality between all of us. Anybody know what that is? Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. There is something that's a commonality. Even if you don't know my language, I can still touch you. There's a commonality between all of us that even though you don't look like me, I can still make you my brother and my sister. There is something. Do y'all know what that is? There is something that we can connect with. We're so tied in to what people are saying, but you're not tied into what they're saying. And so what my point to you is that I'm using social media to try to drive a narrative that there is a commonality that we can all wrench into, that even though we've been programmed with all these differences, and I wear this clothes and you wear them shoes, and I got this skin color and you got that skin color, you come from there and you come from there, this tribalism and this individualism and this separatism and this feminism and this masculinism and all this type of stuff that's continued to differentiate and continue to separate us, when I just told you that your cell, you are made of 50 to 100 trillion cells, but one cell had to get a community together in order to build you. So if one cell stayed individual, if one cell stayed separate, if one cell stayed indifferent, if one cell stayed in a location, in a train of thought, and they never came to an understanding that community look like is a little bit better than being out here by myself. And then if it did that, you wouldn't even be here. But the fact that community was an important aspect, even to the cell in you to create you, then we know that it's unity in community. But we got to get back down to, why would the cells communicate with each other and do this? Why would all 50 to 100 trillion cells combine themselves together to make me? And I can stand in front of this damn telephone and talk to you in front of this laptop. Why would that happen? Why would one cell get with another cell and then say, okay, y'all, we just gonna get a community of things so I can make a whole human being live and be in the image of this one cell? And my point to you is that when you figure that out, then you'll figure out how to connect with all of us. So I'm saying there's a man in China right now that's thinking that he ain't valuable, but you are valuable to the community of humanity. They may not call you shit right now where you at, but that's because you're in your oneness and your individualism. But if I can open your eyes up to, if you don't ever reach your potential, I'll never get what you offer the world. You deprive me every time you never reach your purpose. I have to wait a little bit longer for somebody else to come up with this gift, because you don't know your own goddamn purpose. It says, the Bible says that the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestations of the sons of God. And so you got the earnest expectation of this turnaround, of this change, this earnest expectation that one day we ain't got to eat each other no more. We ain't got to kill each other no more. We ain't got to be violent no more. It's the earnest expectation of the creature that waited for the manifestation. Is waiting. Creation is waiting for you to be illuminated, my brothers and sisters. Creation is waiting for the brothers and sisters on the planet to be able to get the purpose that they were here for. The creation is waiting to go back to normality. Creation is waiting to go back to neutrality. Creation is waiting to get back into full nature. The only thing that is out of nature in nature is the human species, because it's the only thing that has the ability to get out of tune with nature. What is it that can connect all of us so we can all feel this sense of belonging? So we can all understand that the life of that Chinese man is just as valuable as the life of that Australian Aborigine girl. That's just the same value as the life of that Ghanaian man. That's just the same value as that life of that Russian girl. That's just the same value as that life of that American white boy. It's the same value as that American black boy. Because if you don't allow them to birth their gift, then mankind misses what they bring to the table. So you got to understand this. Education is to bring forth. So we're trying to get you to, we're trying to impregnate you with your gift, not with my gift. Y'all don't need to be like me. There's plenty of different trees, there are plenty of different things that still hold value to the ecosystem, right? So we're trying to get you to get impregnated with your own gift and then bring forth that baby out of you as an important asset to the community of humanity. And if you continue to keep coming into the paradigm and leaving without ever meeting your purpose, not only did you deprive yourself, which is a big reason for reincarnation, but you also deprive humanity. People ask me all the time, HerbMan, boy, how in the hell could you get up there and do all that? Boy, goddamn, boy, remember you on selling dope. Remember you in the jail, the prison. We remember your ass. You always got down talking that good shit, though. But we remember you got down doing all that. How in the hell? Because I always talk that good shit, even in my bad times. My mind was never where my body physically was at, you guys. What I'm saying to you, keep your head up in the cloud. Don't let sickness take you off the mark of believing in God, knowing God. Not believing in it, knowing God. Don't let broke shit take you out of knowing God. What I mean is knowing your nature. When I say knowing God, I'm talking about knowing you, knowing thyself. When you know God, you know thyself. It ain't about knowing everything. You can't be an expert in external environment and talking about you know something. You got to be an expert in internal environment to know God. So to know thyself is to know the internal terrain and to know what is needed in this terrain to be able to make it through to everlasting life. And again, we don't chase diseases, we're chasing the death consciousness. If I can eliminate the fact that you think that shit gonna end in your life, if I can eliminate the fact that you think even life will end, if I can eliminate the fact that you don't understand that things happen in a change pattern. So when things are happening in a change pattern, you got to understand these things go by seasons. But if you're never in tune with nature, if you never get into nature's rhythm, you don't fathom seasons. So you don't fathom the season. That man was a season. That girl was a season. That wasn't really supposed to be your husband. You married out of season. You got babies out of season. You got that job out of season, or you're looking for a job out of season, or you in this thing out of, because you don't know the rhythms, and so you're trying to hang on to something permanent, and this shit keep teaching you that it's temporary. So don't hang on to the healing. Don't hang on to good health because it's temporary. But also don't hang on to sickness. God damn it. Things change. Don't hang on to poor because it's temporary, but don't hang on to rich either because you can leave it can be gone. It's temporary. So now your attachments must be dealt with. Your attachments must be dealt with. And here we start to divulge to you if you're dealing with attachment issues, if you're dealing with delusion, if you're dealing with loneliness, if you're dealing with doubt, if you're dealing with self-control, if you're dealing with grief, if you're dealing with guilt, if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, we can be able to pull this out of your birthday with your owner's manual. For a funky measly $50, that's what we're offering you guys. If you're interested, please DM me. We'll get you the information that you need. Any questions? Any questions, right? So that's why we're teaching you this science. Everything is about these numbers, man. And your name, your birthday holds it all. Holds it all. It holds it all. It's the best natural-based assessment you can get. And I guarantee you it's probably better than your doctor's assessment. We can know what's going on in your blood by your birthday. Never having to take a blood test. We ain't worried about your blood type. We worried about the type of person you are. We ain't worried about your blood type. It ain't nothing but 4 blood types. That's too surface. It ain't deep enough. So it ain't about the blood type, it's about the type of person you is. Because the type of person you is can change your blood. That may not can change the type of blood you got, but it can change the condition of the type of blood that you got. Which means that if you got a personality defect, we ain't worried about if you type A+. We worried about the defect and why you act like that. The only thing that's real in the matrix is frequency and vibration, and change everything else is illusion. Okay, so then there we go. What is that one thing that we can do? So we're using social media. We're using YouTube. We're using TikTok. We're using Instagram. We're using Facebook. We're using you guys, right? I come on every day between the times of 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I come because I'm coming in the time where Gemini, right? The sun is in Gemini in America. Okay, the sun is in Gemini in America between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Standard Time, where I'm a Gemini. So I'm using all of these natural forces to push out a frequency. And I'm trying to, I can't speak nothing but English. But what I'm trying to do is see that if anybody could see my motions, if anybody could hear my voice, they could feel my frequency, they could feel my vibration to know this man is doing this shit out of love. He ain't got nothing else. You can tell by his life that it ain't nothing but a love offering. I done did everything else. There ain't nothing else I want to do. For real. Am I right? Some people are getting into this because they trying to move from an apartment to a house. I had a house before I got over here. Some people are trying to do this because they're trying to meet the one in their life. I already met the one in my life. Some people are trying to do this because they're trying to be somebody. I'm already somebody. Somebody is trying to do this because they're trying to pull their bootstraps up and try to go from $0 to $100. That's fine, but I already got the money. And then you can find some people that have been through so much shit in life that they understand the life of a serviceman and the acts of service and understanding servitude, and then wanting to understand how that I can be of service. Because if I wasn't doing this, I'm going to be the preacher in your prisons. I'll be the preacher in on your corner block. You couldn't stop it anyway. I was going to do it. But at the end of the day, my point is that these are things of acts of sacrifice. Not necessarily because you need something, it's because you want to see the world in the way that you've envisioned it. And we've understood now that based on the vision is that we're living in this thing together, but we're not in togetherness. And think about your cells in your body. If you had these 50 trillion, 8 billion cells in your body that are living amongst each other, but are not functioning together, how much trouble do you think you would be in as an individual if your cells did what we're doing with each other? And so we can take pointers, we can take life-changing tools to learn from within. And we can also take these life-changing tools to see things outside of us, to learn from, to know how we really should be. And again, when you come on the HerbMan show, we're teaching you guys about the human frame and the human design, because I want you to know that you're not in hell, you're in heaven, but you're too blind to see it because you haven't been taught how to see it until you die. And the thing about it is, when you die, your eyes are shut. Nature wants you to see what you're trying to see with your eyes open. We're trying to get you in heaven alive. I love you guys, man. It's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until next time. Love HerbMan. I appreciate all of you guys. If you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM us. We'll get you the information that you need. I appreciate all the love, all the concern. We'll come back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.